Good morning. Another project. Breakdowns, repairs. NC 16 tonner brakes. They still work, but not very good. Can't even push against the spring enough for it to work. The plates, or these plates holding the rams, they're just 5-6mm plates. Had rusted on the back here, so I haven't got a heavier plate. It's over there. It's a 10mm one, so I'm gonna weld a 10mm plate on there to hold the braking cylinders. I'm not sure where I put the little template. Oh, it's on the ground here. So I made this little template. It's pretty much just 6-inch wide, 11 inches long, and 10mm thick. I've got the plate, so she'll be good, heavy and strong enough for the job. Overkill a bit. 6mm, probably strong enough. That's what these are. The ones on the back had started flaking with rust, so make some new ones for it. I got a new slack adjuster for this side as well. That one was knackered, and a new cam for this brake, I don't know, actuator. New cam to work the brakes anyway. And she's getting new brake lines on the back here. The line going from there to the tractor was new 2 years ago, so I'm not changing that one. I'm gonna take the drum off now. I thought it might have been like a lorry. I'd done them 2 years ago. I just took the bearing and took the whole thing off last time. And I thought, oh, I can just take the drum off, but the drum is on the wrong side of the hub. So I have to take the hub off to get the drum off. Just get all these little Allens undone off here. Take the cap off. Caps can be a bit difficult to take off if you haven't if they haven't been removed for a long time, but that one's easy. I took them off a couple of years ago. She had new brakes 2 years ago. Leave the screws in the cap there, and I'll clean that up with a rag. And a little clip here just flicks off and just slides out, and this you can undo with your hand and that. Grab it with a rag. We'll clean these bearings up and put new grease in them again. I've done a fair few miles. It's quite easy to take apart when you do them often enough. This trailer was on the 8340 for quite a while. She shifted, I don't know, quite a few loads up and down hills. The 8340 doesn't hold back very well on the engine, so you had to use the brakes quite a lot, and the tractor brakes aren't as strong. The TM tractor brakes are very powerful brakes, especially on the 50k tractor. They do need re-greasing, you see. It's shining, it's clean, it hasn't got much grease in the bearing. These agricultural brakes are quite good in that you have to take the bearings out, well, every 2 years in this instance, and they get cleaned up and get re-greased. If you had commercial brakes, it might be 4 years running on a shiny bearing like that. It's difficult to get grease into the bearing. If the seals on the back are good, I might put some a little bit of gear oil in with the grease. Just put it inside in the hub, so it'll have a light lubrication between the bearings. Because once that grease is walked out the way, and it needs heat then to soften up to go back in the bearing. Once there's heat, it started wearing on don't know if this will just pull off nicely for me. Bloody hell. Huh. That one seems to have quite a lot of life left in it. Hardly go anywhere on them. That's surprising. That one's very good. I just needed to adjust the slack adjuster on that one then. I have adjusted them, I didn't want to adjust them too much, I thought I'd adjusted them along a lot already. The cam's nearly flat on it. There's a lot of lining left there. See, the springs are still yellow and the pin's still shiny. I'll check the back one as well in case they're not wearing evenly. Maybe this one wasn't doing much braking. Don't know why it wouldn't be. When I set her back, I'm not going to put the rams on the strongest point on the slack adjusters either. I'm going to put them at their weakest position so that the brakes have more chance to brake evenly. When the ram has more advantage on the cam, one can be pushing more than the others, and then the others stick. So I prefer to have them on the weakest point. That's what I got on the low loader, and the brakes work very well on that. They seem to all come on and off together pretty well. The oil pressure in the pipe is more equal to the advantage of the forces, because this one could be easier to turn than that one. So if you've got the ram high up, this one will brake and that one won't brake until you've got more pressure. If you want them to brake evenly, put the ram lower down on the cam as far as you can. I think I'll put the spring on the bottom on these and put the ram one up if I can. I don't have to make a bracket to put the spring on the top, turn them around. Anyway, this is the time you appreciate that you put copper grease and clean the threads up the last time on the trailers. Last time I had a heck of a job to take these nuts off. With an extension all the way until they came off nearly. Not enough penetration fluid to be had. When they're old like that and been on a long time, I try to put some penetration fluid on them for a few days before taking them off. Give them a squirt every now and again. Oh, yeah, every now and again. For 2 or 3 days maybe. That helps. But nothing helps more than cleaning the threads and a bit of copper grease on them. Well worth a few seconds of effort. It saved me taking them off a lot. Well, I'd undone all these wheel nuts already a couple of weeks back, about 10 days ago. I drove her up the road with slack nuts empty, just like half a mile up the road and back. Some of these rims get stuck on the hub sometimes. And no, not at 50k. Just chugging along. The steamroller. She's got wheels off another trailer I got, and the steel is corroded on the inside. I I put 3 wheels off the other trailer on it, and the first one I put on, I didn't clean the inside of the rim, and I just tightened the nuts to get it on. It was kind of pressed on, and I was quite worried about getting it off. So I drove that with just three nuts on it, slack, not touching, and came off alright. I just span it around and hit it with a sledgehammer. So I'm just spinning like that, stand there and beat the thing while it's spinning. There it came off. She needs a tyre on that one as well. The one with the funny rim. There's a slit there on the tyre. Can't be running bad tyres. Look at this one. No. There can be a bit of a bugger to take off. This is how they usually are, or even more difficult. This is like a dream example of taking these off. I'm sure fitters dream of having simplicity like this. That one got clean grease during the winter. I adjusted the wheel bearing. Just a little bit rattly. And if this one will come off. And having these drums just slide off is, I don't know. Well, on all the trailers and brakes I've done, they don't just slide off. You have to release the cam as much as you can release them. Take the adjuster off and get it so that it's bang on in the centre. When they're seized up, they can be seized up holding the pads out. So you need to make sure that the cams are perfectly horizontal, or they'll hold the shoes out and you can't slide the drum off. Well, you might be able to if they're a little bit on, but not if they're like 20 degrees or something on. The grease I gave this one seems to have gone into the rollers, so it pays to take that cap off and put a little bit of grease in them. Those rollers aren't quite so dry. They're not great, but they're not dry. I don't know why they don't have them running on EP90. EP90 would be much better. Grease can't leak as easily. You don't have to have such expensive seals. The other one was that heavy. That one's really good as well. I was hoping I'd have a bad back one so I could change the back ones. And about 50% life in them. I don't want to change them. I might sell the trailer. I was thinking of selling it with new brakes in it, but they're good. They're hardly worn. When they're new, they're flush. When they're new, they're about flush with that. It's only worn down half a mil or something. And they can wear down all the way to the steel, so all of that is unworn shoe. Now these glued shoes can drop off, so for the sake of guaranteeing the brakes, I'll do the brakes. I'll change these shoes, because the guy who sold me the shoes said that they can fall off. And he didn't say that to sell me shoes, he was saying that about trailers sitting in stock on the yard. The glued on shoes can get damp and fall off the steel. So I'll change them anyway, because I don't want one of these coming off after I put it back together in 3 months' time, if I still have the trailer myself or sold it. So I'm wanting to make it a good trailer. It is a good trailer, but I'm wanting to future-proof it, so I'll know I won't need to do the brakes. I can adjust the brakes much more than I've been doing. I'm quite surprised that they're that good. I'd like to be able to take the other side off. I might put a block under here and take the jack and take that wheel off. I might take all the wheels off and look at them. I don't know how keen I am on taking them all off with the tub up in the air like that, but chassis looks dirty, but it's been sprayed with gear oil and WD-40. When it gets a wash, it's quite good. You can see the rubbers I put on last time are still like new. The boots there to stop the dirt going in. If you need to take the camshaft out, there's a circlip on the inside there you need to take off. It won't hammer through. Well, it might break the circlip and hammer through, but there's supposed to be a circlip in there. Might not have one if people put them in and not put them back on. Oh, someone's forgotten, but they should have one. The splines were bad on this one, so I have to change the cam on this one anyway. It's quite a good thing to take the thing to bits. I did fill these up with grease. Oh, I thought I did anyway. When I put them on, there's not a speck of grease in there now. Might not have put grease in them. I might have just put grease on the Chieftain ones, so that it kept lubricating in there, in the bush, so that they don't seize up. There's nothing worse than the brakes seizing up. You just put like a bit on the top more than anything, and then as it works, it'll work its way down and around. So fill the cap at the top and put it on and just smudge them around like that. It'll take a little bit of it. It won't take a lot of it. Most of it, you'd reckon it'll stay in there, but I might not have put grease in these ones, as I said. That one, I don't need to take the cams off. I'll only take them off on this one, because these rubber boots are in good condition. I might take them off just to clean inside these cams anyway. I don't want them seizing up again. I'll do a full job as if it was all seized up. I'll take these shoes off. Screwdriver in here. Leave them off. That one came off easily. I'm having a bit of bother taking this off. And just clean all this stuff up. I think a new pin comes in the kit. New one of these. They're quite difficult to tighten up when you put a new one in. I might not bother changing them because I haven't done any work. I'll try one, see if it's easy to remove. I'm not going to give too much effort to removing them if they're difficult. Doesn't need them. This bearing slides off pretty easy as well. Keep them in there with their friends. I'll clean them up and steam clean them, and I'll steam clean the plate and the seal here and everything as well. These seals are keeping well. It's still nice and supple, not rough or anything. Good seals. Yeah, that'll come out easy enough as loose in the bush. That one's loose as well. I'll take that clip off. Just slid that back. I don't know if it'd come through easy enough. Don't know what I'm hitting now. That's why I'm taking them off. It's all dried up and dusty in there, and it wouldn't run. With new brakes now and redoing these, it'll last a good 4 or 5 years. 2 years since I've done them, so yeah, be a good trailer. Be a good reliable trailer for a long while yet. Just held that open and slid it out. Might not put grease on them this time. Grease might be pulling dirt on them. But I can't remember if I put grease on it last time. I changed this bush. That's a new bush. Or it was 2 years ago. It doesn't look very new now, does it? Open the box to see what I have. I don't want to take stuff off and not have them, in case they've changed what comes in the kit the last time. Yeah, you get the rubber boot and the bush. I don't want to hammer that bush out and not having a bush in the pack, so I know now I can hammer the bush out. You can see the new ones and I haven't got any more hardly than the old ones. So I'm a little bit disappointed that they're no more worn. That's stupid, isn't it? But, yeah, I'm only changing them now since what I said with the glue. They shouldn't be bad though, they haven't been standing around, but they've not been, well, I don't use the brakes a lot, and it's obvious looking at that. I don't use the brakes a lot. The TM holds back. It can be in 16th gear out of 19th going downhill with a 16-ton trailer fully loaded, and you don't need to touch the brake pedal. You can gear down if you're under 2000 RPM and just push your foot on the throttle as you're gearing down, and which will retard a bit more then. No exhaust brake or anything, and it just holds back. Hey ho. Since I'm thinking of selling the trailer, I'll put a fresh set of brakes in it anyway now, since I've got to this stage and I've bought the brakes. So I won't buy one with agricultural brakes again probably either. But there's nothing wrong with agricultural brakes, they're bloody good brakes. If anything, they're as strong because you've got a ram that's nearly the same size, pushing on a smaller surface area so that they come on. They're strong brakes. I don't know, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that they're pushing the commercial ones. Sorry, the sunlight is behind you. So yeah, I'll take these things out then. May as well put the whole kit in and get the bush off. Find any hammers. I know where two are, and they're about 20 miles away on another job. I'll see if I can collapse this in. It's a bit easier for me to get off. I'm actually hitting it the wrong way now. Just carrying on because I started, and because I haven't got a normal sized hammer. Got it out finally. I just kept caving it in on itself. I wanted it to collapse into past the groove there, but it didn't seem to want to do that. So. Clean the hole out of the wire brush. And clean it up and it pushes in by hand, so it doesn't need to be cleaned up any better than that. There you go. Put the new cam in. Some light lubrication on. And it's way too tight. I'll just sand that hole out. I haven't got anything very good for cleaning it out with. If they're not nice and free, they're too tight. Don't know why I kept on hitting it in. I thought it might be better once it got in place. Out a bit better that time. Don't know how much better it'll be. But those cams aren't supposed to be tight like that in there. I'm struggling to bring myself not to put any grease on this. Why has it got holes if it doesn't? I'm supposed to have grease in. I'll put a little bit in. I put last time and they still work, so I guaranteed to put grease last time. I never not have put grease in. That's pretty much bang on how it's supposed to be. Just slight resistance. Nice feel to it. You know, it's good then. But really, to take these off, the easiest thing I find to do or to tighten them on as well is to tighten the brake as tight as you can while the drum's still on. You put the brakes on tight, and then the brakes clamp on this pin, and then you can turn it. That's how I usually tighten them when you've tightened them and this turns in the hole. You can just adjust the brakes tight and it'll hold that, then that will move, and you can tighten the nut until it's bloody tight. Might be very lucky with these, they've just seized on enough maybe. See if we can just open it. Ah! Looking turning. Haven't got anything to hold it still either. Haven't got any self grips or anything. You could weld it. I may weld it then. And just grind the weld off. Should take the seal off if I'm going to do that. Oh. Put a 10mm tacker weld on it, and should come off. And this seal, I'm sure if it's just a rubber seal, if it's got a steel centre. I think this is the rubber seal over the over the step axle. Didn't take them off last time. Yeah, there you go. Should do like put new seals on as well. But they're not leaking and they're in good condition, so cleaning them up and putting them back on is plaster them with some silicone spray. As good as anything. Be sufficient. Don't need too much. Let it cool down a little bit. That'll break straight away. There you go. For the last ones, these pins were seized in. There's no easy way of beating them that way, so I just cut them flush and ground the end of the pin down until the end of the backing plate was just coming into sight past the ground down pin. Just hammer them through then. I'm only changing these this time so that it's not impossible to change next time. In 5 years or whenever it'll need brakes. Those brakes were the last 10 years. Like that. Now, she wasn't braking very well and I had adjusted the brakes. I'm surprised how little they worn out. I don't know if the slack adjusters were slipping. But the slack adjusters themselves were the problem and not the brakes. They had a little bit rattly. I've got a new one ordered for that one. I should put 4 new ones on it. If they're not holding, but they should be holding. You can't make them slip. I don't know. They're quite expensive to change for no reason. Well, the brakes, these brake shoes are as well, but as I said, the glue can be a problem. So. I don't want to leave it parked and have the brakes jam up, or to whoever buys it if I sell it. And the camera.